Hello and welcome. I'm your host, William Liu. I'm joined today by Keerthika Uthayakumar, NBA statistician extraordinaire, Keeks, obviously by everyone who knows her. What's going on, Keeks? How you doing?
Good. How are you all?
I'm good. I'm good. You are going to be. Actually, can I say how many teams you're working for? Is that like
Uh,
under wraps or?
it's not under wraps. It's just
Okay.
so
Can I say 10% of the NBA is supplied by yours truly?
uh, technically there's two teams and then a national client. So
Okay. So potentially more than 10%, which is
potentially more than
yeah.
it's so many teams. Oh my god.
Yeah, you've it's only preseason and yet you've already become really busy. But of course, we know where your heart lies. We know it's with the Raptors, and that's where obviously we see most of your work. Obviously, people know you for your quote unquote fun stats that
Fun
happen
facts.
online. Fun facts. We had you had a really fun fact yesterday about the Jays making the completing the comeback.
Yeah. I mean, I was watching. I am a bandwagoner.
I
I'm
mean,
going to preface. I watched probably like all 162 games when they were good back in 2016,
okay,
and then it's been like less and less ever since,
yeah.
which means sometimes I'm sitting there, I'm like, I have all these fun Jay's fun facts, but I just want to be a fan.
You don't have to share them. I
Just
mean,
want
it's
to be a
not.
fan. So I don't share them, except this one was really cool.
This one was really cool.
It's like
Yeah,
a
the
team, they're
stat.
both teams of destinies.
What was the fun fact again? It was like there's only, I think. Well, you share it. Yeah, go ahead.
In each league, so in both the MLB and the NBA, there are
Hmm.
six teams in each league that have come back from down 2-0 in a conference finals round.
Uh huh.
And of course, the Toronto teams are one of six in each league.
That's
No
pretty
one's actually
incredible.
done it in the conference finals since the Raptors did in 2019.
That's also pretty incredible. I mean,
And teams have
this is yeah.
no, sorry, teams have come back from down
Hmm.
2-0 in the NBA, but not in a conference finals since the Raptors.
Yeah, this is pretty incredible. I think. I mean, everyone's been talking about the Jays. Actually, a fun fact about the Jays being in the World Series, it meant that like nobody's covering the Raptors anymore. It's been a little bit sad going to practice the last 2 days. Luckily, I've had Jerome today and Alex with me yesterday, but like today there were like four total media members at Raptor practice. Like nobody had cameras there. It's
There's other things going on.
I think there's other things going on. In fact, one
There
of the
were two
reporters that came
cameras
through.
filming Scrum, and one was Will's and one was mine.
Yeah, there you go. That's why we've been
Is that
posting the
why there's
scrum
no
because it's like
video from today's practice online?
no. That's why you got to go to the Hello and Welcome channel
You know
because
what? You're
legit
right.
like
You're right.
we've had nobody actually tapping into the Raptors. Unfortunately, actually one of the four reporters that came through was there actually on behalf of the Blue Jays to ask questions
Yeah.
about the run. Which I mean, hey, listen, that's the most topical thing. Not necessarily Raptors playing the Atlanta Hawks to open the season tomorrow, but to begin this, I actually wanted to preview a bit of the season by going through 10 fun facts slash sets that will define the Raptors season. I have five. You were supposed to have five, but turns out you have seven. So five plus seven,
There's some bonus in
it's,
there, you know.
it's not 10. Yeah, but let's hear the first one. What's the first stat that you have that will define the Raptors season?
Well, it's going to carry on from last year,
Okay.
where I'm not. If you remember, this time last year, I guess it was when I came on the pod to do something similar.
Hmm.
We were talking about how bad the Raptors defense was the year before, and that where they end up that year, I guess last season, would depend on their defense. Didn't start off very well. There's a lot of like strength of schedule noise in there too, but from the last 43 games of the season, so pretty much the last half of the season, they were third in defensive rating.
Okay.
And if you're going to use that to preview, do I think they're going to be top 10 in defense this year? Maybe like 10 or 11, not top 5. But that's going to define, I think, everything they do on offense as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think actually this relates to one of the stats that I had, kind of also about defense, but I think in particular about the Raptors being able to force turnovers from their opponent. Because if you've watched any of the Raptors in preseason, if you watch the Raptors in summer league, this is a team that's just like going after guys. I actually think weirdly enough, the second unit and even the third unit did most of the turnover forcing.
They did.
Obviously, summer league was only bench guys, and preseason you see a lot of end of bench guys. But
Yeah.
I mean, nevertheless, I think the Raptors overall across the board really want to force turnovers, and like last year, the Raptors were second in forcing opponents into turnovers in the last 41 games that the Raptors played. 15.9 per game. Was only second behind the Golden State Warriors at 16.4. And if the Raptors can maintain that level of desperation, that level of aggression, that level of energy, I think if the starters in particular can play kind of all out the bench does, then yeah, I actually do think that the top 10 defensive, I guess spot is possible. They weren't that far off from it last year.
No, I think they finished 15th, which again, like they were 26th the year before in Darko's first year. 15th last year, 10, 9, 10, 11 is 100% something they can do. To be honest, this is my second stat, which is offense to defense relating to their turnovers. So the fun fact here, 24.9% of their points in preseason came off turnovers. So a quarter of their points of their scoring came from turnovers. Getting in transition, stripping guys clean, and then just like the look ahead pass down court. A lot of their scoring is going to come from their defense this year, I think.
Yeah, is this I guess to give context, like what would be like a close to like a league average in terms of just like how many points do people generally score in terms of percentage of their points off of turnovers?
Percentage of points, I don't have that number right now, but typically like teams score between like 10 and 11 points off turnovers as league average.
Okay.
Right.
So that's
Raptors,
like close to like 10%. Yeah. This is a definite.
This is a whole different. Obviously, it depends on how many points they are scoring in general. Like if the Raptors are only scoring 100 points and 25 of those points are coming off of turnovers, and that's a little bit.
That's pretty bad.
A little bit bad. Not a good look. Even in preseason this year, so they force opponents into 23.7 turnovers per game. Preseason numbers are obviously noise. 23.7 is a little outrageous, especially considering they forced 15.9, like you said, and they were second over the last half of the season. So 24 turnovers a game is insane, and they scored 28.5 points off those turnovers. Preseason.
Yeah, I mean, I think this kind of dovetails into like, sometimes, I felt with, especially some of the later Nick Nurse teams, I'm like, Raptors have to force turnovers because their half-court offense is so bad. But then I was also like, so sometimes it felt like it was a good thing that the Raptors were like amongst the top in like transition points, which is usually a good barometer for like how many turnovers you force. But at the same time, I'm like, they also need to do this because they know they're desperate. They can't score in the half-court. And I'm hoping that this year it's a little bit more balanced where they're able to combine both their like aggression on defense to translate that into scoring while also just genuinely being like a decent half-court offense. The Raptors have not been I feel like they haven't been above average in half-court offense since like maybe 2019, 2020.
Yeah, I agree. It's so funny to me because so many of the things the Raptors are doing this year, they did under Nick Nurse. And back then, it was like they had to play the possession game because nobody could score. Zero shooters. Like the Raptors have been bottom 3 in three-point shooting. I'm going to steal a bit from a later fun fact. But they've been bottom 3 in three-point shooting for at least 3 seasons now. Like 3 consecutive seasons. Like you can't...
Yeah, it feels like that, yeah.
There was even a season, I think Knicks last year, where they were bottom 5 in three-point shooting and in free throw shooting percentages, which is like they had to play the possession game. They had to cross the glass. They had to like scoring in transition was pretty much the only way they could, right? And now it's funny because we're full circle, kind of right back where we left off.
I mean, if it was just strictly up to like X's and O's, Nick Nurse is a fantastic coach. The thing is, if you get Nick's X's and O's with Darko's man management, you get a pretty ideal situation. So, no, I do think some of that actually is a reflection of the philosophy of the front office.
Yeah.
In the sense of like, yeah, like clearly, I was doing this like Reddit AMA thing over at Toronto Raptors, and one of the people asked about like, why do the Raptors always not have centers? And I'm like, this is like obviously the first summer where it was like Bobby's turn to like just run the team by himself
Yeah.
without Masai. And maybe in the past people thought like, okay, Vision 6'9" was like a Masai thing. I mean, I suspect it's a Bobby thing as well. And I think that obviously Bobby definitely wants all the guys to be able to shoot and just sort of be able to sort of like, play 5 out. And I think that makes it especially difficult for the bigs. Having said that, though, playing 5 out really works when you have great shooting, and the Raptors obviously have really struggled in that department. So that's why it's like really hopeful to get Brandon in. The Raptors have tried to address this in the draft too. It's not like they're not trying to rectify it. They did take Grady and Jacoby in back-to-back drafts, so they're clearly changing and modifying the way they want to play. But yeah, fundamentally the results have not yet caught up to the efforts, and I think this year might be the first time in a while where the Raptors actually have like closer to league average shooting.
League average is a win because this is my 4th one, Jerome. I'm so sorry. They've been bottom 10 in 3-point shooting, 3-point percentage, and in like usage overall. So they're like the amount of free throws they take, the percent of their of threes that are of their field goal attempts are free pointers, bottom 3 in three consecutive seasons. Jesus, I can't talk right now. So last year, 28th. 34 threes a game they took. This season, in preseason, lots of noise. They played the Nets. There's lots of grains of salt. They took almost 40 threes a game.
Okay.
Does that compare to like the Celtics that take 50 plus a game? No, but 40 would be league average.
Yeah.
And if they can convert
the
the attempts, then
would
it all kind of clicks together.
Would you say it's more of a concern that they don't shoot that many, or that they shoot so poorly on the ones they shoot?
Concerned that they don't shoot that many.
Okay.
Even like IQ all season has been saying like I want to take 10 threes a game, like pull up, catch and shoot threes. The idea is that there is going to be more like catch and shoot 3 opportunities with the way the Raptors are hoping to run their offense, but they still got to take them. Like BI, I think took 5 threes a game in preseason. His career high in that like 18-game season that he played last year was like 6.8 threes. He did not want to take them the year before. If you don't have enough personnel taking the threes, like it's going to be a little bit of an issue for sure. The shooting, like there's like some variance there, right? Depending on who's available.
There could be some variance. I think one thing I agree with you in terms of just like them not taking as many threes is a bit of concern. One trend that is sort of notable is just like you look at Brandon, you look at Scotty. Both of those guys love working in the mid-range. I think Scotty really took leaps last year, improving the mid-range. He's got his touch. He has really gotten not just a touch, but he kind of really has understood like how to get to his shot. Like when he takes a turnaround jumper, even though obviously it's not a low percentage shot, but he understands how to get to it. He's like
100%.
more on balance on the ones that he shoots, which obviously improves his conversion rate on those as well. So I think even though maybe the overall percentages aren't that particularly great, like there's like a skill improvement in there that doesn't necessarily translate in the numbers. And then Brandon's just been a guy who operates in the mid-range all the time. The thing is, for me, it's just like between that and also obviously you have a completely non-shooting center in Jakob. Although Jakob did shoot that one corner 3 in Portland, which was fun, but like realistically, this man's not going to be shooting threes.
No.
So if you combine those 3 as your starters, that it really does force like the bulk of the 3-point volume to come from everyone else. And that's where, for me, like one of the things I had was just in terms of offensive efficiency. The number I actually had for you was just 1, which is the Raptors only had 1 player last season that shot above 60% in true shooting. Keeks, you are very familiar with stats. Do you know which player this was?
It's got to be Yak, no?
It's actually, you know what? I should have looked up Yak. Wow, hold on. This is, I might have to like amend this to 2. Wait, hold on. Jakob shot 60%. Oh my goodness. No, you're absolutely right.
Was it Yak?
Jakob. Okay, it is Yak. Okay,
Okay.
maybe 2 then. I'm changing it to 2 on the fly. 2 players shot above 60% true shooting. God damn it. You're too good at the stats. I can't believe it. You instantly broke my stat. Okay. 2.
I mean,
We're changing it to 2.
according to Basketball Reference, Yak has the highest, or is top 3 in true shooting percentage all time in Raptors franchise history. So Bebe's number
That's
one.
fair. Yak is an exceptional finisher. Salute to
Yes.
Jakob, man.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yak.
Oh, I should say that this player's still on the team.
Still
Chris
on the
Boucher also
team.
shots over 60, but I mean
Okay.
he's no longer the team, so it's not relevant to this season.
RJ's efficiency went down last year. Brady, I
did.
don't even want to talk about it.
Yep.
Ochai?
It's Ochai. Ochai squeezes over 60 at 60.1. Ochai came actually decently. I mean, Ochai shot decently across the board. Like there was genuine improvements for Ochai. Ochai went percentage-wise. Ochai was 49.8% from the field, 39.9% from three, which would have been incredible. He honestly is only a couple major threes away from just a 50-40 season in general.
gosh.
But you
Yeah,
just did not
39.9.
have. Yeah, you just didn't have like a lot of like efficient like players on the team overall. I think the main players on the team in terms of obviously Scotty had a really tough time as that primary guy, was at 52% true shooting, which is quite low. Actually very, very low for primary players. RJ
27% from three. That's kind of how it goes.
yeah, it was a tough one. 27% for three on like decent volume too. But RJ was at 54.7, which is just slightly under league average. IQ at 57 is slightly over league average. But again, IQ didn't play a lot of the season. My question to you is like, do you think we'll get any like of our primary players? Ochai, it's nice that he got to 60 as a role player. It's great to to be efficient. But outside of Jakob, do you think any of our main players will get close to that 60 mark? Because I think that's where, if you're above 60 and you're a high volume usage player, that's when you're like truly treated as like your like a good number one option, let's say.
Honestly, I wish I could say anybody else. Like Scotty, there is a possibility Scotty could get close, like 58, 59,
Okay.
depending on his shot profile.
Okay.
If he plays like he played against the Nets in preseason, again, preseason, Nets. This is your warning. Take it for what you will. But if he plays like that, if he takes the shots he did against the Nets compared to the rest of his preseason, he has a chance. Like one of the stats I was looking at was so funny and kind of sad, but he made more shots in the paint in that one game against the Nets than he did in the rest of his preseason.
Yeah, you gave me the stat, I think, when we were at 2 games before that. You were like,
I think so,
Scotty
yeah.
was 3 of 10 in the paint or restricted area. And I was like, that's
3 for 17 within 15 feet, I think it was.
okay.
Gave the Jack too. It was kind of crazy, but
right.
sorry, no, sorry. 3 for 17 outside 15 feet, but he only took 3 shots in the paint. That's what it was.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay, well, yeah, there you go. I mean,
the point stands, yeah.
I mean, for Scotty, if Scotty ended the season anywhere close to 60% true shooting, on like respectable volume where it's like 17, 18 points per game, I think that would actually fundamentally change just his perception of what it is offensively, right? Because that would actually be kind of an incredible jump. One of the points I had actually was just like on Scotty's like usage around the paint. Maybe we'll get to that conversation. For me, I was thinking about like, could you get Brandon or IQ or even maybe RJ close to the 60% true shooting level? RJ, weirdly enough, he actually did post a 61.5 true shooting percentage after joining the Raptors.
Yeah.
In the first season, he was traded from New York. Obviously, that season was cut short by a variety of reasons, largely because the Raptors were tanking. But RJ did actually have a 61.5% true shooting as a Raptor in his first season with Toronto. That unfortunately dropped to 54.7 last year because if you remember when Scotty was out, when IQ was out,
he carried the load.
RJ became like the primary guy. He just doesn't have the skill set to be a primary guy and also to be efficient. That was one of the big issues with him, and you saw his efficiency tank. He also personally talked about how sort of drained and exhausted he was towards the end of the season, and he really needed an offseason to recharge. Anything we've seen from RJ so far is just he looks really recharged behind the scenes. He's like really energized. So I'm hoping that all that carries over. So there's maybe a chance, especially if he hits free throws again, that he gets close to that 60% because his three-point shot has been solid. He gets the rim a lot. That's kind of the efficiency way to get there. And I think the other hack for IQ and BI is just they need to shoot more threes, like you mentioned.
They have to shoot more.
Shoot more and obviously convert more, but we know those are like the 2 best shooters in the starting lineup. If IQ can be a guy who shoots even like let's say 60% of his shot attempts, like 6 in every 10 shots are from 3, and he converts them at a 40% rate. You're like most of the way there to a 60% true shooting, especially because he's a good foul shooter as well. And the other shots he is taking is mostly at the rim with the layups or runners. And then Brandon, I mean, Brandon's a 10-year vet, so he hasn't actually got to the 60, but he's getting close. He's like flirted with like 58. You know what I mean? So it's possible. You know.
I think it depends on. I will say some of it also depends on the kind of rotation Darko runs to start as well,
Okay.
and how much he like uses his starters. Obviously, like we've all been talking about the starting lineup and the fit of how all those 5 guys will play together. And to me, most of that's going to like depend on like how Darko like staggers his lineups. If you're like Tibbs is an extreme, but if you're like Tibbs and you're playing your starting lineup for majority of the game,
Yeah.
this wouldn't work, right? These guys aren't going to work together. They take up too much of the same space. A lot of them like the same shots, kind of like. Also, depending on how many threes BI takes, you have RJ, Scotty, Yak. Scotty and BI want to live in the mid-range, kind of. Basically, there's too much going on. If Darko staggers and goes like a 2-starter and bench lineup for majority of the remainder of the game, I think he even ran a bunch of like BI and bench fully.
Okay. Bench needs a shot creator for sure.
Basically, like
those guys, they're dogs on defense, but you know they're also going to be dogs on offense too. Unfortunately.
Yeah. It's going to depend on the spacing. There you go. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, I definitely want to get the starting lineup like time to try it out. I think there's certain ways that they can balance it. A lot of it really depends, like anything on offense, like the timing, how well you're connecting on screens, if everyone's cutting on the same page. You know, I think the first game they played together as a group, it was really sloppy. Like when they played the Celtics also like were very smart. They like cramped the paint the entire time, played 2 bigs with Boucher and Kita, and like they just like sat back on everything, which is probably a strategy a lot of teams will do against the Raptors this year. I wouldn't be surprised if teams zoned against the Raptors this season as well. Although I gotta say, Darko has definitely done he's definitely one of those guys where his scheme is flexible enough where if guys zone against him, it kind of invites him to like get more creative and get open shots for his guys. No guarantees that those guys make the open shots, but as a coach, all you can do is get them open shots. For me, it was just like I do want to give that starting lineup a little bit more time to see, because like, yes, I agree with you. Like a lot of guys are trying to operate in the same space, but I also think some of that can be like schemed away. Like one thing I think, you know, this is like kind of nerdy, but I do think that like, okay, the Raptors run a lot of their offense through the high post. They give the ball at the elbows to Jakob. Sometimes they give it to Scotty, and then it's like some dribble handoffs from there. And I'm just like, that feels like it's like almost inviting teams to just like, okay, we'll just sit back in the paint, because Jakob, when he has the ball at the elbow, is not a threat to score. Scotty, when he has the ball in the elbow, kind of puts him in a position to score, but realistically, I'd rather give him the ball in the block. You know, and it kind of it creates even more congestion in that same area. It's like I wouldn't really. It's like funneling all the traffic in Toronto on the 401. Like it's actually exactly like that. So I'd rather them like detour and like play even like if you're gonna play 5 out, ideally you're not playing from the elbow. And the thing is, you can't really do that with Jakob because obviously he's not shooting from the 3. But if you could have like, even if you put Sandro in place of Jakob, and I get this goes to your point about personnel, but all of a sudden you can truly play 5 out with, or at least 4 out, 1 in with Scotty. And at that point, you start to look more closer to like a general offense. Yeah.
League average
offense. Or this is a good point from the chat. So with Scotty, you can run those actions above the 3. Like, I don't even mind if you put him in that space instead of Jakob.
Instead of Jak. Yeah. Well, you have so many different guys that can play make on this team. Obviously, you don't have a true point guard sort of player. IQ is not that, unfortunately. But you do have so many different guys that can initiate offense. Yeah.
And I honestly think that like, if Scotty puts his mind to it and just tries to set up everybody, he can do that as well. It's only the thing that's difficult is it's harder for him to do that with a live dribble at the top of the floor because he's not like a threat to shoot as much from out there. And even if he does get downhill, you know what I mean? Like, I think that the spacing might be a little cramped. Versus, I think, you know, if you get Scotty as like a post-up hub in certain ways, whether even if it's a dribble handoff hub at the top of the floor, there's other ways to sort of leverage what he can do. Because if you put Scotty in a bit of movement and make him think on the move and pass, he's actually genuinely really great at those things.
Yes.
Yeah.
And really efficient when he shoots from there too. Okay.
Okay, hit me with another one.
I have to go back because I went out of order. I'm so sorry, Jerome. Okay. Health, obviously, but this is leaning more towards the role of Jakob Poeltl. Last year, they were 9-16 without Yak. Obviously, they were 30-52 overall. It doesn't mean too much. However, the offense cratered when Yak wasn't on the floor or if he wasn't available altogether. They weren't a great offensive team to begin with. I guess the stat here is overall on the season, they were 6.4 points per 100 possessions better with Yak on court, on offense, than they were without him.
Okay. This is actually one of the main concerns I have, even going into the first week of the season, as we start to like actually live and breathe the regular season. It's just like, if Yak's got a bad back, and Yak's gonna play, right? The health report came out. Jacoby apparently is ill, and CMB is still dealing with a forearm issue. So those two aren't available for Atlanta, but Jakob is going to be available in Atlanta. He's just going to have tough matchups night after night.
Yeah.
And especially at the start of the season when it's like they got to play against Giannis, they got to play against Şengün, they got to play against who else they got recently? Wemby.
They have Wemby.
Yeah, they got Mobley and Allen. Porzingis.
Oh, God.
I mean, Porzingis moving him around, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not ideal for a guy on a bad back to sort of play this murderer's row and also constantly be on the road. But at the same time, like, I think Jakob, I mean, he helps, of all the guys, I think he helps IQ the most. Sometimes it feels like IQ really struggles to get his own offense or create any reliable offense without a big screen.
Absolutely.
And just based on the way the Raptors are built, he just doesn't have a lot of big screeners. I think, like, if you look at one of the things with IQ in New York was he got to play with, like, a Mitchell Robinson, who's, like, a huge threat for the lob. He got to play with even Julius Randle. I don't know if him and Hartenstein overlapped. I don't think so. But in any case, like, I just think there were, like, maybe bigger screens. And definitely more of a focus to play traditional pick and roll under Tibbs as compared to, like, under Darko. And, yeah, I mean, I think that, like, the quick that you see when Yak's available is a very different quickly. And almost has the biggest sizable difference in how they perform when Yak's not there as compared to anyone else.
It's so interesting because I'm gonna get this stat real quick. But IQ, even when to close last season, they were all kind of hurt, unavailable, on and off, aka tanking. But Darko was super intentional about his rotations to close the year, where if Yak was playing, or if Scotty, IQ, and Yak were playing, they all played together the entire game. Like, all their minutes came together just to kind of get those reps.
Right.
Even, this is a secondary point to the health thing, but the four, like our four, BBQ Poeltl, BBQ Yak, whatever we're calling it now, 140 minutes together last year, total, like across 9 games.
Yeah. Unbelievable, actually.
9 games they played together.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll all depend.
Well,
okay. Sorry. Here's
here's
last year, Yak and IQ played 433 minutes together. They had a 1.39 net rating. IQ without Yak, -4 net rating.
Yeah. Yeah, I think absolutely. I think like it's synergistic, right? I think like for Jakob, like ideally he's rolling into space. I mean, the nice thing with Jakob is he doesn't have to roll to the basket. He can just roll, like, pull up short of the basket, like 5 feet and in. He's like so money with like the touch, the jump hooks, the bankers. Like, he's, for a guy who doesn't dunk the ball very much at all, he's actually an incredible finisher.
Yes.
Which is like one of the most understated thing about him. But at the same time, no matter what, it's still nice when you can have that sort of like pull-up shooting threat like an IQ, who can also get into good positions where he can collapse the paint and then dump off. And I just think that like those two guys play really well off to each other. And I agree with you. Like, not having a backup for Yak as in terms of another 7-footer. I
A
think
true
that's
backup,
where
yeah.
that's where it does hurt the team, and especially players who really rely on him. But I don't know. I guess the hope is that like CMB. I mean, from the small bits that we've seen from CMB, he seems to be a really wide body. He can really screen, so maybe he can create the same gap. The thing is, I just doubt he has the same gravity to roll, especially on the offensive end. But again, we'll see.
It'll all go back to I think Darko's rotations
Sure.
to see how he utilizes them too.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna toss another one at you. The number is 29th, and that it would be the Raptors' rating in terms of net rating for crunch time last season.
Yeah.
If you break down net rating, which is your offensive rating minus your defensive
Your
rating.
defensive rating. Yep.
The offensive rating for the Raptors were the second worst team in crunch time by offensive rating, and they were the fifth worst team on defense by defensive rating. They went 10-22 in crunch time. I have a little quiz for you actually. Can you tell me who was the only team worse than the Toronto Raptors in crunch time offensive rating last season?
Only team worse than the Toronto Raptors. They were 29th. It's got to be one of the. I don't think it was Hornets.
Hornets is a good guess.
Wizards or the Jazz?
Wizards and Jazz are great guesses, but it's a team that you actually follow quite closely.
It's Miami.
Miami was generationally bad on offense last year in crunch time. They were very good in competitive through 40 minutes, and then the last 5 minutes they were just like
tied an NBA record for most blown double-digit leads in a season.
There you go.
Which
their offensive
so
rating I think was like in the 90s, which is kind of rare these days.
Well, with the whole Jimmy Butler stuff last year, and then Spo had an off year. I'm gonna just call it an off year.
Okay.
Overall, he had an off year. There was a couple early on in the season. There was a couple instances where he blew the game. One time he called a timeout when he didn't have one.
Ooh.
Got called for attack.
Yeah.
They played the most overtime games as well in the NBA. It's just it wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
It's gonna be worse this year, I think, without Hero. So wish me luck, guys. Wish me luck.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you've had a tough go. I mean, but on the flip side, nobody knows Davion Mitchell better than you now. So
it's true, and Norm Powell.
And Norm Powell, there you go.
I got lots of Norm Powell fun facts.
Yeah, that's great. Maybe he can't be their crunch time scorer though. I mean, that's gonna be tough, man. Norm's like a great 40 minutes, he'll get you 20 points, and then you need to go somewhere else for the final basket. You just have to.
It's unfortunate. It's probably gonna have to be Bam for them this year, but it all depends on how he looks on offense. He didn't look good in preseason.
Yeah, but anyway, I guess the reason I bring up this point was just I do think the Raptors, in terms of what's the easiest way for the Raptors to go from a 30-win team to a 40-win team. That's the hope that everyone has this year. I think a lot of it does come down to nailing the small details in crunch time. I don't think there's one standout thing. It's not like they were only playing isolation basketball, and it's not like the Tampa year when they were okay, it's crunch time, it's Fred getting a pick and roll to pull up a three, or it's Pascal spin moving into traffic. That was relatively easy to diagnose. Yeah. Versus this one is I think there's a lot of problems. I think defensively, the way the Raptors want to play, pressuring the ball, all that kind of stuff, it's a lot harder to do in crunch time because it's the end of the game. Yep. You're more tired. You're most likely in foul trouble, so you don't want to gamble as much. And so teams naturally go more conservative towards the end of games. That's why you see a lot of isolations because turnovers become way more costly as compared to the start of the game. And so I think the defensive style kind of needs to be more solid rather than sort of gamble at the end of games, which I think can be improved. And especially for the starters, I think that, especially the veterans and stuff, they should be better at that. And I think offensively, not to say Brandon is a catch-all and improvement, but I do think that what I liked seeing from the Brooklyn Nets game was when you saw the game was tied, they were okay, they knew instinctively where to get the ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? They were let's get Brandon on the ball. Let's maybe get him a mismatch. But even if he doesn't get a mismatch, he could probably still go to work. And I think that I like what Darko said about it too, because I asked him about it at practice, and he was he's not just a great scorer, but he's a great playmaker. And you can trust him to not force up the last shot every single time and also make the right plays. And I think that yeah, I mean, if the Raptors like, no matter what, like there's like the I guess the mid game, which is like the bulk of the possessions. But it really does come down, obviously, so much to like crunch time. And if the Raptors can, number one, just be solid defensively, and then number two, like find a good way to play offense around what Brandon does, which is a pretty much a walking mismatch. Leverage that with Scotty, who has been a pretty good crunch time player in the past. I think that like this is where the Raptors make their hay in terms of like not just being one of the worst teams on net rating. Even if they get to 500 in net rating, I think that's going to translate to like a 5 or 6 win jump.
Last year, I guess in preseason, we'll start with the preseason. So 5 of their 6, for some reason, 6 games, they played 6 games. 5 of their 6 preseason games ended in clutch scenarios, were clutch games. Record doesn't mean anything, but the fact that they played like that many of those games went to that kind of scenario is going to say a lot, I think, for this season. Even last year, I had a stat about, don't remember the full number, but I think like 47 of their games, they led in the fourth quarter. They obviously did not win 47 games, so.
Yeah. No, but I'm content with just winning half of those games.
Winning
you know
half of those games is, yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's huge. And I think that, like, those small details are genuinely, like, what makes a difference in the regular season. Because, like, veteran teams, especially guys who are experienced, guys who have played together a lot, they just generally have an idea. They're not, like, you know, making their own mistakes and shooting themselves in the foot. And I just feel like the last 2 years, the Raptors have been shooting themselves in the foot.
Yep.
And hopefully this season, that won't be the case. So that actually is a bit of a fun fact. By the way, I've also enjoyed Darko drawing up 2 game-winning plays, too, man. Shouts to Darko, man.
Oh, I was going to say, Darko's, like, he has now 2 seasons of reps being in those scenarios and unfortunately losing most of them. Some of it is personnel related, but there's, like, he's a rookie head coach, right? His first year. And second year, you're in an impossible situation where you're, like, you're pretty much tanking. You're either not healthy at all or you're tanking. He's probably, I feel like he's learned a lot.
I feel like I've given Darko a hard time sometimes, but ultimately, I have to acknowledge that he has had 2 seasons where he's been asked to lose, and this is the first season he's allowed to win. So let's see if he can win. You know what I mean? And I'm relieved for him too. You know what I mean? Nobody should have to tank for more than 2 years. It's not
Nobody
fair.
Should have to watch a tank for more than 2 years either.
You can tell the media is all desperate, man. I'm like, give me 40 wins or give me death.
Just want some good basketball, guys. That's all I want.
Yeah, just competent basketball, please.
Yeah.
Okay, hit me with another fun fact.
We are going with the bench mob.
Okay.
So we talked about it a little bit earlier, too, about there isn't really someone that can create their own shot on that bench. They are going to have to be staggered. But last year, partially related to tanking, the Raptors were second in the NBA in points by rookies and sophomores.
Okay.
12th in bench scoring. And I guess this is not a stat, but a prediction, but I'm going to say that they need to be top 10, top 8 to kind of get to the play-in six in the NBA. So 6 in the East.
Okay. If you had to guess right now, who do you think will be the leading scorer off the bench? Would you take Grady Dick or would you take the field?
Oh, Grady looked good in preseason. Except after his first game, he looked really good. He looked more sure of himself.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I know I'm taking Grady Dick over the field.
Yeah, I think I would take Grady Dick too. Which, I mean, it's really cool to see how assertive he is, because it reminded me so much of the start of last season. And again, like, no one wants to recreate those circumstances of like Scotty being hurt and IQ being hurt, and the Raptors playing struggle ball. But like, it was the only good thing from the first month of last season was, wow, look at Grady, like breaking his career high like 6-7 times, and you know, consistently like just being a flamethrower and being aggressive and hunting shots all over. Like, if there's anything for me, it's just like a lot of the bench guys aren't aggressive enough offensively. And Grady comes in the game and he's just like, I'm going to bomb. I'm going to keep trying to go for offense. I mean, him, Sandro, those are genuinely improvements for the second unit. CMB, depending on how he operates as a rookie, I think he can be a positive offensively. I've already said that, like, I've been watching his warm-ups and his shooting has been impressive. I'm not going to lie. Like, I know they're standstill shooting drills, but you know, it's been better than expected. So You know, if he does shoot well, let him know that I broke that news first. But, if he doesn't, I'll just say it was practice.
I do see a world where CMB is first off the bench, though.
Okay.
It's, probably not right away, but a couple months in, where he's first off the bench, subbing in for Scotty or RJ, to be honest.
Again, like if he subs in for RJ and Scotty, I think he would really. Well, I mean, he'd be coming in as a wing for the most part, and I think for him, the quicker he gets that 3-point shot down, the easier it is for him to play. We've already seen him be able to attack closeouts. We've already seen him being able to play in that dribble handoff position. Even like playmaking out of that. One of my favorite passes of the preseason was he got it on the block and like he drove hard on the baseline, drew two, and like whipped it into the corner to Brandon for open catch to shoot three. Like there's a lot that he can do, and even if you trust the little like height and weight measurements that came out, like he's also one of the heaviest players on the team. I don't particularly trust that. I mean, I literally interviewed Jacoby. Yeah, I interviewed Jacoby, and he's like, yeah, that's. I was like, did you gain 20 pounds? And he's like, no.
No, I don't trust any of them.
Yeah, but I mean, even if you see him, like he's like pretty big. He's like really solidly built.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can sort of improve on that end. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess second units. I think for me, like I need a lot of them to pressure the ball and just force turnovers because similar to the last bench mob, they're gonna have to get it on defense rather than getting on offense.
Yeah, exactly. Their hustle is what's going to keep them, I guess, top 10 in the league in like minutes even in usage.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that one. I like that. We're getting more positive. This is why we have 3 exclamation marks on this one. I feel like we traumatized people with the first 5 we threw out there. They were like, they're bad at this, this, and this.
Well, they were bad at those things, you know? We all just get an
What's going on?
emergency alert.
Oh, we got an Amber
getting
alert.
an emergency alert on our
that's
phones,
okay.
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I just want to interject here because this is a really great moment of positivity. If we continue on this trend, we might not have to rename these from fun stats next year when we do this because it has not been fun for the first 42 minutes.
Hey, it's about to get better, baby. It's about to get better because I know people were asking about this one. And where was it in the chat? From Caleb. Someone said, do we have a stat on Darko's challenges? One of the things I'm looking for the most improvement on, I actually do. The stat is 51%. The Raptors won 51% of their challenges last season. You might think, that's not bad. It's 50-50. It is bad because you're getting a chance to look at the video and then choose to challenge. So you should be good at it. Actually, at 51%, that's 28th in the NBA. They were 24 and 23 on their challenges. For comparison, the best rate in the NBA was 78% win rate, which I believe was might have been Minnesota, if I want to say off the top of my head. It was the top one. The Knicks were at 78.2. Wow, and then Tibbs got fired. There's not a strong correlation in terms of just like how good you are in challenges and how much you win games, because the Pelicans were second at 32 and 11 for 74%, and then the Bulls at 26 and 10. But like regardless, I think this is a clear area where the Raptors can just improve in terms of how they use challenges. I think that like the challenge, especially for a competitive team, can be a very, very useful tool. It's great motivationally because you're able to sort of back up a player and show trust. But at the same time, it's also great for the team overall because you're able to keep a player out of foul trouble. You're able to swing a big play in crunch time, give your team a confidence boost. And I think for me, it's just like that first challenge has to be right. I think that's the first thing, because obviously you lose a challenge, you lose a challenge, versus you win the first challenge, you get a chance to challenge the second time and at least go 500 on the game. I saw way too many games at the start of last season when the Raptors just wasted their challenge early in the game for kind of no reason.
Would wag their finger and all of a sudden you're using a challenge for no reason in the first or second quarter of games.
Yeah. And to my knowledge, I think the video process for the Raptors, they have one of the assistant coaches, Eric Curry, who used to be the Raptors 905 head coach, and he's been a long-time Raptors assistant coach. I believe he's the guy in charge of the video, and so he's on the bench like every other video guy with an iPad, like tapping like rewind 10 seconds, trying to see if the call gets right or not. I think sometimes though they're like it's hard because it's the heat of the moment. Darko's obviously like trying to back up his players.
Yeah.
The ones I don't like is when Darko just like backs up the player immediately rather than looking back at the video guy, because it kind of invalidates the role of the video guy. Like, even though the player is a huge authority because they were directly involved in the play, they're also sometimes can be a bit of an unreliable narrator. Versus the video just is kind of cold, hard evidence.
Most of the
if
time.
the video guy says yes, let's run with it. If the video guy says no, the player says yes, then Darko can sort of choose which one to go with. But I feel like it should be pretty rare where the player says challenge, video guy says no, and or I guess if the player says challenge and they don't even look at the video guy. That I don't like. I think you should value some of these things, especially because you need these small margins to be an effective team.
Especially with how, again, going back to the clutch record, especially how like their games are so like tightly decided, closely decided. You need the challenges. I will say, I think, or at least positive. Let's use this as a fun fact. Time. It could also just be like, you're in 2 seasons of losing, where you are not trying to win. This is your opportunity to show the guys that you have their back. And then
It could be. It could be a motivational tool.
like-
I often thought about it, to be honest. You know what I mean? And honestly, coaches take very different approaches. Like,
They
I'm
do.
looking at this. By the way, the Miami Heat by far were the team that used challenges the least.
I think the one that you're looking at might be including preseason though. But yes, Spo
Okay.
never used a challenge.
It says here last year they were 10-8 on challenges, which means they only
They've used
challenged
a few-
18 times.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Versus like there's certain teams like the Thunder challenged 72 times last season. Yeah, there's like certain teams that challenge basically every game. Which I mean, again, why
Yeah.
would you not? The Nets challenge. Oh, the Jazz challenge. Wow, the Jazz were 50
Jazz were
and 25 on challenges.
Yeah, they use a
Wow.
lot of challenges.
What are they even challenging, man? Aren't they tanking? Why were they challenging these?
Remember, last year was year some whatever of their teardown. Their rebuild hasn't even started yet.
That's unfortunate, man.
Depressing.
But, yeah. Well, yeah. That's maybe we just gotta redefine this. It's like 10 stats that the Raptors need to improve this season. Boom. Then we change expectations.
Let me see if I have any cool fun facts. Grady shot
me.
38% from 3 in preseason, which
Isn't that what he's supposed to do?
yes, that means he's
Oh,
doing
okay.
what he's supposed to.
Oh, okay, good. Sorry. The Asian parent
doing
popped
what
up.
he's
I'm sorry.
supposed to do.
Congratulations, son,
He's
on
meeting
your A- in math.
expectations.
Well
He's
done.
meeting expectations. This is good.
Okay, I like that. Okay.
Do I have any other cool fun facts? I don't. No, that's all.
Wow. Unbelievable, Keeks.
I'm so sorry.
Do you have?
I'm trying to find positive things, but it's kind of hard to. Oh, is that also an emergency alert? Yes.
Yeah. I
got
hope
another
this
one.
person's okay.
I agree.
Definitely respect the Amber Alerts. My goodness.
There's so many. Yeah. I don't have.
Do you have a
anything
Blue
else
Jays
that's
fun fact? I thought you had a bonus.
The bonus was you used it at the top, so there you go. The 1 of 6 teams.
God damn
Trying
it,
to
Keeks.
s-
One of
trying-
these years
trying to be
we're gonna preview the
positive.
season. One of these years we're gonna have a preview of the season when we hit the word fun, like the
And
by
it'll
the
mean
definition
fun.
of fun. Yeah. Like
And then it'll
not
be
like
fun.
not like deeply depressing stats to define.
Okay,
the
I
season.
I think I would
have
just like
one
from-
fun that could be fun.
Okay,
Okay,
please.
you're
This is
fine.
your last shot. Go ahead.
Could be fun. Again, in a world where they're trying to generate as many catch and shoot threes as they can.
Yeah.
BI shot 40.8% on catch and shoot threes last season,
Yes.
which will
Okay.
convert. That's 60
I feel pretty
that's-
confident in that. Yeah.
like 62% of his threes were from on the catch and shoot.
Okay.
So there you go. That's
Yeah.
something
I
to
mean,
look forward to.
I again I think
Digging
there's
real
a
deep here.
chance if you we're all let's be real. How many stats can you mine out of a 30-win season that are like tremendous? But like I do think there is if you're gonna try to get BI to that point where he's close to 60% true shooting, which again he
Yeah.
hasn't hit in his career, but there's obviously room to improve for everybody, and he's not like washed or anything. He's like 28, you know what I mean? Like he's like right in the middle of his prime, coming to a new team as well. Yeah, like there's one of the things I had in here was like Brandon has never shot more than 4 catch and shoot threes per game. Last
Yeah.
season was at 3.9. Before that, most seasons were actually in the 2.5 range, which I think is just like absurdly low for his usage. I think that like you put him in a system where guys can get him shots and he can sort of be a little bit easier of a finisher. Clearly he's a very good shooter. Clearly he's a very efficient finisher. But obviously with anybody, if you're going to ask them to generate it for themselves, they're going to have a harder time with it. So yeah, I mean here's hoping. I mean honestly, I think despite saying all this, I think a lot of these things are just like rectifiable from year over year. And that's where the optimism comes from. Because to me, I'm just like, this is like, these are like easy ways for the Raptors to improve so that they change their win total. Like a lot of this is very doable, you know.
These are all things, especially since we like the 10 things, 10, 11 things that we picked are all things that we think they'll be better at this year, or we hope they'll be better at.
There you go. We're changing the title after this. 10 stats that we think the Raptors will be better at the end of this season.
Yeah.
Still not fun, but it's okay.
On that same note, everyone, I did go and just grab some stuff myself to share here, just based on everything I've listened to. Here from Merriam-Webster's dictionary is a definition of fun. Fun means providing entertainment, amusement, or enjoyment. Full of fun, pleasant, have a fun time. And in case there's any confusion here, pleasant here means having qualities that tend to give pleasure, can be agreeable, having or characterized by pleasing manners, behavior, appearance. I just wanted to like kind of bring those forward in terms of like the notion of 10 fun stats. And for now, at this count of 51 minutes and 30 seconds, what felt fun about this experience in listening through? Because, you know, to pull back some like previous stats, I don't know that it's fun to say that someone is bottom 10 in 3-point shooting, 3-point percentage, and 3-point usage in 3 consecutive seasons. It's fun, I guess, in a way of like that it's like 3-3-3-3. But again, referring back,
it's fun as in they could be average this year. See,
what about? So
it feels like we're getting lectured by God right now. You're not even here physically.
The voice of God, we can't just see you.
I'm hearing you from beyond,
I'm here right there.
Why are you in the dark?
Yeah. I've been.
Are the three of us in the same city? Keeks looks like she's in Miami. I look like I'm dressed for like the winter, and Jerome's just in the dark of like the Arctic or something.
Yeah, the manual adjustment of my exposure, but yeah. No, what about being bottom 10 is entertaining, amusing, or enjoyable?
You know, it's
a question that I think is a fair question to ask.
Let me see if fun can also be described as interesting. That's what I'm going to call it.
Okay, interesting.
The fun is the friends we made along the way.
There you go.
And
all the laughs.
Yeah. The friends that collectively are bottom 10 in 3-point shooting. No. Yeah.
Okay, they're going to be 15th this year, guys. That's what we're going with. That's the fun part.
Right. That seems pretty fun.
Like, listen, if the Raptors can improve all these stats to average, the Raptors will actually be an above-average team.
100%.
Which sounds very doable, you know? I would not make a good coach because this will be a horrible like pregame speech. You know what I mean? Like, get out there and be average. And they're like, I can't. I'm sorry. It's not in me right now.
What kind of stats, Keeks, could you pull to like give media any hope of in a game against Raptors coaches like performing? I won't say a win.
So this
but
one
let's
is
say
fun
more than
for
4
me.
points. Yeah,
okay.
because you got to watch us last year.
I did.
Yeah.
It might not be fun for you.
Idea, by the way, that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Well, I think the other team, the Celtics game, they kept stats, which is very cool. This is probably more fun for me as a spectator than it was for you guys.
Wasn't hard to keep track for the 4 points. Dude, I don't know. We need like a
plan on like
for
pulling
that
stats at some point. Like you wanted to do live tweeting and stats, but then you ended up filming all of our plays throughout the day. Yeah.
I did. Yeah. When I was keeping track to start the games, I think I stopped keeping track after this one, to be honest, where there were more turnovers and made field goals in the media versus media game.
There were? Damn it.
Turnover to makes ratio is nasty.
So
turnovers to assist,
I've heard of assist to turnover ratio, not field goals to turnover ratio, man. How bad are we, man? Damn.
Which means if you guys go against coaches, I don't know how well that would go. Just saying.
Oh,
do you think based
it would not
on
go.
obviously you did not collect the data, but you did get to watch all of it. Do you think we could score more than 4 points?
You know what? I'll give you guys like 8 points. 8 points.
8
We're gonna go
points.
8.
That's pretty. I'll take 8.
Yeah,
Depending
I'm
on who's
thrilled
playing.
with 8.
You
Let's
need
go.
back-to-back MVP Gavin Berry available,
Absolutely,
Yes,
yeah.
Gavin
yeah,
has to
yeah.
be a part of it.
and then
Ga-
he will
Gavin's
score
already
4
in.
of those 8 points. So
Yeah.
Okay, we're only giving Gavin 4. Damn,
I wanted to be nice to you
wow.
guys. I'm so sorry.
that's okay.
Let me see if
it's
I can
okay,
pull this
Keeks.
out.
We need
Some positivity.
10 sobering stats to define the Raptors media.
Okay, that's what we're gonna call it. 10 sobering stats from now on.
It's not a
pull
good
this.
headline. We're gonna go with 10 to improve.
Sobering stats is really great. I actually
Mm.
do like the idea. Yeah, because here, let me pull this here because Will did share with us that Will and Alex have been doing a Raptors Reddit AMA, and I believe Raptors Reddit did come up with lineups for this hypothetical media team.
No
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Will did get to answer a question. He did put together his starting 5.
Yeah.
Which we'll share with you, Keeks, based on this. So we have at point guard Samson Folk of Raptors
Okay.
Republic, at shooting guard Akil Augustine, Raptors host, at small forward Randy Urban. He was previously hosted Raptors Tonight and was producer
Sorry,
of RC.
It's
At power
cracking me up
forward,
to even see this.
Savannah Hamilton. Savannah is like one of
Savannah go hoop. We'll give you Savannah
Honestly,
at
we
least
have
one
the
bucket.
bigs.
Come on now.
Savannah's got to get a bucket. Savannah definitely
Yeah.
can at least draw some fouls. Yeah, also we
Sure.
have fouls in the game too.
Yeah, Savannah
and then
got
Paul,
a sick drop step, man.
Absolutely. And then at center, we
There
do
you
have
go.
Gavin Berry,
Gavin
back-to-back
Berry.
MVP.
Yeah.
Very kindly, Will added me in as a 6th man off the bench.
You know, sick.
And then he threw himself all the way down to the 11th man.
11th man.
It is
Yeah.
Will in the Tyler Hensbrough role.
Yeah.
Can this team pull off 8 points?
I mean, just looking at it, no.
No, I don't think so either.
Okay, a couple of things.
Okay. go
If
for it.
you're playing with full court and it's a 24-second shot clock, and it's also you got to get it past half at 8 seconds,
Yeah.
and considering the fitness level of the media and the fitness level of the coaches,
Our starting
if they
5 fitness level is good.
no,
based
okay,
on this starting
if they
five,
truly wanted to full court press, I
Which
don't think we will be doing well in the field goals to turnover ratio that Keeks just invented.
Also, Keeks,
Hey, we do this
keep in
sometimes.
mind, I did change my asthma medication, so this is a whole different
Oh,
year for me.
that's right. Yeah, we're talking. It's
Yeah.
like Barry Bonds on the on the
No,
Giants
I'm on
level right now.
PEDs now, so
Yeah,
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 I'll
yeah.
have to get drug tested at the end of the game. I am on literal asthma steroids.
Looking at how the Raptors like to play defense,
Yeah.
if the coaches decide to play even at like 50% of that effort, I'm reducing
done.
my 8 points to like 2 made free throws.
Okay.
We would need some tactical fouls. I think.
Yeah, like you
On
have
the-
to
on the-
like
on the
try
coach
some
side.
real like messed up because it would just be a thing of so last episode, maybe it was our Blue Jays React, but Will and Alex were talking about having to actually train as media if this was actually happening. Just for the record, none of this is going to happen.
Oh yeah,
Never
we would have
to-
practice.
But we would have practice.
We would
and
have.
everything.
Yeah. Again, I've shared the story, but last year, one of the assistant coaches who was coaching us saw us warming up. He's like, "Okay, guys, let's get into let's get into like a layup line." And then people were like, "What is a layup line? And how do I do it?" And I was like, "Yo, we're done, man. We're done. Like, we're done.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
We're done like Lindsay. Man. Get out of here."
Yeah. I also
So-
do like that accidentally we had the wrong coach get a note on me that I apparently can shoot. And so, but it was the opposing coach, so all he did was get everyone to hound me nonstop throughout the game.
Oh,
The assistant coaches
yeah.
were so fun.
Yeah.
they were great.
They
I
have
mean, Coco
all-
got a tech. Hopefully he does it again.
Yeah.
That's enough. They did enough scouting on you guys in that game, just being their coaches, that it might be
Yeah.
less than
It's a tough one.
4
It
points.
is a tough
to be
one.
honest.
I do suggest that instead of actually training at basketball, we should just gather as a team and train in different ways of flopping.
Okay.
And just win the 8 points at the line. Like just flopping
The free throws, yeah.
and free throws.
Goodness, man. Just a team full of Jimmy Butlers. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
And
Just
not
that
even
would
good.
make
Butlers,
my
James
more turnovers.
Hardens, you know.
Yeah.
If we had the same referees from the media game, those referees were very, very generous. They did not want
were
anyone to get
generous.
hurt.
They were very
I
generous.
had at least 6 free throws off of 0 contact.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of the refs, when they were leaving, said to me specifically, "Please don't post any of this. I'm supposed to be at work today." And I'm like, "Oh,
nice.
okay, that all makes sense."
That's great. That's great. Anyway.
I'm like, "Oh, cool."
But yeah, I mean,
All
thank you
right.
for all these fun stats.
Hopefully,
we're gonna work on
there'll be-
fun. You know.
They'll be more fun during the season.
Yeah.
We
all
can
agree on
revisit.
that.
And I also want to be clear, for as unfun Keeks is with her stats, she is genuinely one of the most fun people.
Oh, thank you.
In the
A
Raptors.
great hang.
Yeah, a super great hang.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Who will convince everyone that it's still summer in the middle.
That's
or in
right.
October.
It is.
You're gonna
Doing
take
fine
these
right
like
now.
filtered
It is good.
photos of Lake Ontario.
Absolutely.
It's gonna look really nice
Absolutely.
and inviting.
They're film sims. They're not filters, you know.
Shout
It's
out,
different.
shout out
okay.
to
Oh,
Rico,
my bad,
Rico
my
GR, you know.
I got
you
my
know,
Rico.
Straight out of camera JPEGs, I get it.
Exactly. No
Yeah,
Instagram filters on
okay.
those.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, the lakes looks nice, and then you get
It's
out there and
either-
it's like 10 degrees, and you're like, I can't stand here for more than 10 minutes. Like,
It's
I'm getting wind
it's a
chill.
quick walk.
so-
You're supposed to like go on a little photo
Like a
walk.
br-
You know, that's what it is.
Brisk. photo.
Honestly, they're a lot more scenic than taking photos of Alex eating too many tacos in Las Vegas.
Got some of those too.
Yeah. Should we
Alright.
promote our watch party one more time as we get into these
Oh, yeah, that's
stats?
right.
Yeah, you guys are doing that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will, let us
Okay.
know what's going on.
All right, we'll be at the Pint Public House at 277 Front Street West, basically where the Skydome is. And yeah, man, it's a free event. Come through, come watch the game with us. Raptors will be taking on the Atlanta Hawks, Kaká, on the road. Game starts at 7:30. Our live event starts at 7. Just come through, just hang out. You know, have a couple drinks, have some food. It's a good time. We'll be there, me, Alex, and Jerome, and of course the fine folks from RR, Samson. Trey, who I actually, I feel like I might have snubbed Trey on the.
Trey's
on
a
the
hooper.
game.
Trey
think
could
Trey can
Trey-
hoop. Yeah, you
Trey's
told
a
me Trey can
hooper.
hoop.
Trey is a hooper.
Trey
Someone
did get
else in the
injured.
chat.
I wonder if he can play. But yes.
Yeah, Trey. Yeah, well, if he gets in the media game, he might get in the starting 5. So I think that
There
might
you
be
go.
good incentive.
Yeah.
And then S, of course, will be there as well. And then afterwards we will have a live React pod from the game. From the watch party, we'll bring on some of the people who are in attendance, maybe to ask questions.
Sure.
And just generally, it'll be fun. And yes, the Blue Jays will not be playing tomorrow, which is does mean we have a free night. So Jays you don't have to stress about the Jays until Friday at least. So we'll be all good.
While we're watching the Bucks and the Raptors, guys, that's what we're gonna be watching.
It's first come first serve on the day. Here's a fun fact.
I mean, I'll be
Raptors
watching.
last year were 2-0 against the Hawks on the road. So last season.
Oh.
So
Yeah, it came in the same
There you go.
weekend when Jalen Johnson got injured.
That was when
Again.
JJ got hurt. Yeah. Keeks, what's
But
up
that
with
was
you, man?
fun. That was
Keeks, I'm gonna have to put the definition up again. Fun, providing entertainment,
Okay, the
amusement,
fun
or
was-
enjoyment.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact number, but Trey had a historic. I think it was like
Yeah, he had like
105
11
games.
turnovers.
Right.
But he had a historic streak of like 5 assist
Oh,
games,
Right.
and the
wow.
Raptors defense ended that. He also had a lot of turnovers, so that's fun too.
That's
See, that's
That's
fun.
fun.
That
That's
was
fun.
fun.
that's fun.
That's fun.
That was actually
Yeah.
good. I was trying to
Thank you.
discredit that, but I think you hit it. So
Also,
thanks,
hilariously,
Keeks.
it wasn't fun. Like in Atlanta, because we're like, aren't we supposed to tank?
Yeah,
was that,
but
like-
it's fine.
But that
Yeah,
was a
we had a
fun
good time.
stretch. That was like the middle of that 10-game stretch where they were like 8-2.
we were there in
I think.
person in Atlanta because we were visiting our friends at No Dunks and we attended the games.
The only
Alex
thing that
was
was
caught in a swag surf.
the only thing that was truly fun about that Raptors Hawks last year was that the Raptors beat the Hawks to Brandon Ingram, because the Hawks would actually be quite good with BI in that mix, and the Raptors, we will be talking about these exact fun stats in the opposite way of this season without him. So that's it. We're looking forward to the home opener or the season opener tomorrow.
Thank you
We'll
so
be here
much, Keeks.
post game. Appreciate Keeks for coming on. Thank you, Jerome, and we'll see you guys all tomorrow.
I promise you'll look back at these stats and they'll be fun halfway through the season because it'll be different. There you go. That's the fun part.
Famous last words.